So hello, I'm Jaquetta Pugh Stevenson, of course, and I am doing this as a part of completion of a class at Liberty University, and this is my interpersonal communications project. I'm married to my lovely husband, and we have a blended family of 5 kids. So a lot of times communication here is definitely misunderstood. I really thought that I was a great communicator before I took this class, which was really good because it helped me to learn a lot of different things about myself, and especially my weaknesses in communicating. In my job, in my everyday life with my friends, how it is so imperative to make sure that you are communicating effectively with people, because you can get a misunderstanding by not having a great development of communication with people and building on those relationships. So what this was for me was a way to help me walking better as a mother and as a communicator. So my overarching goal is to become a game changer, to be a confident and a strong leader, to do what God has called me to be who God has called me to be, and don't let anything stand in my way. This helped me to identify a lot of barriers that I had with myself, and helped to explain why I made a lot of the decisions that I made in my career field and different things. And we'll get there. I don't want to bore you guys, so let me get started. My behavioral blend, I was a passive people-oriented person, and of course I knew that. I really have a passion for people. I mean, I can't really describe how much I love helping people. Part of that is said that I was people-oriented and not task-driven. And what that means is that I'm just more clone to helping someone versus getting something else done first. Whatever I need to do to help someone, that's how I feel that I should do. Says that I'm very emotional, and I am. I have mixed feelings about a lot of things. I tend to react to emotion before I can do anything else. So I definitely am very emotional. It says my passion is people. So this behavioral blend helped me to identify what I love to do, which most I already knew, but it also helped me to identify a lot of my weaknesses. I usually used to tell my students that communication is the key to success. When I was teaching school, communication is the key to success. I really didn't know how vital that was until I took this class and learned that listening had been a forgotten skill, and learned that we don't always listen effectively. I also learned about myself, my leadership style. It said that I was purely relational and emotional person. That as a leader, that I believed that people follow me because they love me, and that not because of blind obedience. So I'm not sure if I would ever be, a pastor, but I know as Christians we're already leaders. I just know that that's something that I need to work on. So I saw that as a leader I'm better at, it says I was great as a follower, and that was one of the barriers that I want to talk more about, and especially give a broad or example of something that happened to me in my life, and this class helped me to overcome that. So keep in mind what I said about leadership style and me being a follower. That really opened up my eyes to some things that I need to change. And another weakness I have is conflict. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll address it if I have to, but I don't really like conflict at all. I stay away from it. I try to be the person that calls it even. I'm always the first to apologize, even if I'm not wrong. And whereas conflict, I learned, helps you to identify different things. It gives you different ideas. It can be a good thing. It's just something that I didn't want to embrace. But I'm learning that I have to. I learned so many things about what communication can do for us, how you can establish identities through your past, through your present of who you are. Like my identity, I'm a mother, I'm a student, I'm an assistant, I'm a consultant that sells jewelry. So I have so many identities, and in those networks of people, we communicate every single day. And that's why I have to do better and overcome the barriers that I have in communication. One that I have that I definitely need to change is being an interrupter. If I'm in a conversation with somebody and they're talking and I'm talking and they tend to keep talking, and I feel like I have to talk over them because I feel like I'm going to forget what I'm thinking. But I learned that a way to do that is to just inhale, listen to what that person says. Because if I'm not, then I'm only listening to them at a level 2 or 3. They're not getting all my attention. And speaking of attention, if that conversation is boring, oh, I am all over the world. So those are some things that I really need to work on. And not just in my everyday life as a person, but as a follower of God. Because how can I listen to what he's telling me if I'm not communicating effectively, if I'm not having an open channel with him? That's just the way I feel. As I bear to keep going, my plan of action is, which I've already started, is to have self-acknowledgement, have more self-awareness about who I am, and embrace who I am. When I started back to come to Liberty, one of the reasons I came was, and majored in effective leadership, was not to particularly pursue a degree in divinity, but to learn more about God. And because I felt that I had failed as a leader. For 10 years, I worked in the school system, and I hadn't really shared. So this is about being open. So communication is definitely about being open. A lot of people that know me that may see this video hoping that lots don't, that I can delete it prior, but nonetheless, it's a part of communication, and it's a part of my final grade. One of the things that I did was I was working in the community college system for 10 years, and I worked part-time and worked on my way up to management. Was a dream job. Thought I was ready, and had did everything I could to help people. Had helped people go to school and with low incomes and no incomes, and I just was so excited about finally becoming a leader, making it to the top. But when I got there, I realized that I felt lost. I felt like I had failed, that I wasn't doing what I should as a leader, and I resigned. And because of that, I now know it's because I wasn't aware of who I was. And I have to wrap my video up, so I'm going to say this. My plan is to push to be a game changer, be who God has called me to be, open a better line of communication with people, listen, really listen to what they're saying so that I can help them and they can help me to build a better relationship. Communication builds trust, it builds love, it builds loyalty. Those are the things that I've learned. I'm going to be use more of the talker-listener card, where I know my role. Am I the talker or am I the listener? Those are just some of the things. I have a lot to work on with communicating. But this class has definitely paved the way to open my eyes to a lot of things beyond communication. And I'm so glad and so privileged to have done that. Be blessed.